Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to get started on your Zentangle in your sketchbook. So what you need is your sketchbook. So here's mine. You need a pencil, a marker, a permanent marker, and a ultra fine tip Sharpie marker. This one's especially important. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your sketchbook, and somewhere in your book you're going to look for an interesting page. Okay, so it could be a page filled with drawing like this one, or it could have mostly text in it like this one. I'm going to keep looking until I find something interesting. Let's see. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Okay, so I found this cool picture in my book. Like I said, you can do it on a book that just has only text if you want, but I've decided to use this one. So you need your pencil, okay, and you're just going to go in and start drawing your strings. So when you draw your strings, you need to start on the edge somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to start up here. I'm just going to kind of draw around. I'm going to stop when I hit this guy in the center and bump and jump and go somewhere over here. Okay, that's just my choice because I want him to stand out. I want him to be like the focal point in the image. So there's my first string. And I'm going to do like, let's see, I'm going to do about 5 strings. Here's another one. 3. 4. I'm going to do 5. Okay. The idea is that you're drawing these lines and kind of breaking up the page into these different sections. Imagine that these are like different pieces of a puzzle that you cut this page out into. Okay. When you get into spots like this where it's kind of hard to see the pencil line, you just need to kind of tilt the page a little bit, and depending on the light, those lines will show up for you. Okay, and so once you have your strings down, then you can set your pencil aside and get out your fine tip Sharpie. And then you just start drawing. If you want, you can go on YouTube and try and find some cool patterns to replicate in your picture. But I'm just going to start making up my own. Okay, so I'm going to start with some scales, I think. So I'm going to do this kind of rounded curve. Okay, I'm going to make it go smaller. And then I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to fill up this whole section in my book, or on this page, so this whole kind of puzzle piece with this same pattern. The key to this is really just to go slow. Go nice and slow. The slower you go, the neater it'll turn out. You notice I stopped right there at the border, okay? If I want to, I can kind of continue it right on top. I think I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to go any further than that. I just think it might look kind of cool like that. There's really, the only wrong way to do this is to not try at all. You really get to have a lot of freedom with the types of shapes you decide to pattern, and really the greatest way to be successful with this project is to just go really slow. Slow down. Okay. So I'm going to use the time lapse and fill up this whole area, and then we'll keep going and talk about what to do next. Okay, well, that took a while, but it turned out looking pretty cool, so I don't mind. Next, you're gonna choose a different section on your page, okay, and you're gonna move on. So I'm gonna choose maybe this one right here, this little loop. Okay, I'm gonna do a smaller piece because that took me so long, so I'm gonna start with a little one, okay. Now I'm gonna just start going with a different pattern. For this one, I wanna make it different than the last one. Just personally, I want a little bit more variety and difference in the background. So I think I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do some triangles and different kind of angles using lines. Now I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna start. So I'm just gonna start with one shape. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of just make one line at a time. And like I said, I don't really have a plan for this. I'm just kind of starting and going. Okay, all right, so it's kind of turning into almost like a low poly kind of drawing. So I'm just using lines, no plan, just doing it, okay? The slower you go, and if you just focus on one line at a time, you're gonna wind up with something cool, okay? All right, so that turned out kind of cool. So I didn't plan that, but I'm happy with it. Okay, so now let's say you have a big old space like this. You still have to use pattern there. So maybe you could even, I think this would be a good chance to use our thick marker. Okay, and so you can use your thick marker. I don't want to see like everything done in thick marker because the thick marker is really just meant for filling large spaces in with black. So if you want like tiny details like these two patterns I've already done, you don't want to use the thick tip of the marker. It's not going to turn out the way you want, okay? So, but I was thinking maybe I could have some sort of something with the thick marker. What if I think I'm going to do some stripes. So I'm going to do some big, bold stripes, okay? So I'm going to just start. I think I wanted to go, it's kind of radiating out from his head. So I'm going to start over here. All right, I'm happy with that. I think that looks cool. Okay, so, and I'm just gonna keep going. So within each shape, I'm gonna put my pattern in. Okay, and so I'm just gonna time lapse until I'm done, and let's see what happens. Remember, I have no plan here. I'm just doing it one line at a time. So here we go. we need to talk. I'm gonna pause this. And there it is. And when you're done, you can take an eraser, and if you can still see some of those pencil lines that were left behind, you can just go in and erase them. And you'll just be left with a really cool Zentangle right in your sketchbook. There we go. All right, and so that is how you Zentangle. If you have any questions, feel free to go on YouTube, look up some other tutorials. If you have a hard time coming up with different ideas for patterns like this, I would say just start with a random shape, start with a random mark, and repeat it over and over and over, and you will find that you make something really interesting. Don't forget to check out YouTube, look at different tutorials. All right, lots of people have different ideas. All right, bye-bye.